Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Dunkirk. Now if you want to keep up to date with all my latest videos then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always with my videos this review may include spoilers so you have now been warned. Dunkirk. Well, this one might be slightly awkward. It's okay. I liked it, but I do have, and I'm going to take up a few issues with it. Now before you all start jumping on that dislike button, let me just try and clear it up, because I did enjoy this film. I really did, and it really hit me quite emotionally, more than what I thought it was going to, but it just took a really long time for me to show any sort of investment into this film. I mean, it took really long. It took until poor little George fell down the stairs. That was the only really point where I felt any sort of connection to this movie. But before I get into that, stuff I really liked about this film, I loved Mark Rylance and Cillian Murphy. They were the MVPs in this movie, especially Cillian Murphy. His character was so almost underplayed, but he had such an important role in this movie, and it felt for me like it kept everything together, and his character was the only one that I felt any sort of emotion to up until the point that I said. And I thought, like, without the boat, without Mark Rylance and the boat guys, this movie really would have struggled for any sort of character. Yeah, it just wasn't, there wasn't a lot going for it on that front, and I'll get onto that in a minute. This film is visually stunning. It is beautiful. I really loved, I'm gonna sound really pretentious here, but I really loved the colour palette in this film. I thought the use of the blue and the orange in this movie was incredible, and every shot looked stunning. It was great. Also, the music was brilliant. Obviously, Hans Zimmer, the king of movie soundtracks, he produced this one, and it was brilliant, and it was really emotional when it needed to be. And for the first, I say the first half of this movie that I didn't really enjoy, it was the music that kept everything together. And I say this a lot, but it did really feel like the music was an extra character in this movie, especially from a somewhat storytelling point in that first half when there wasn't much dialogue going on. The music really drove home a lot of those scenes. And also what I loved about this movie is the clock. For those of you, I'm guessing most of you noticed, but throughout this movie there was a ticking all the way through it up until the very end of the film. I really loved how subtle that was, because it was there all the way throughout, but it would really drop and then it would come back in really prominent scenes. And yeah, I loved the whole way in which the sound was designed for this movie. It was brilliant. Okay, let's move on to some things I didn't really enjoy about this movie, and I don't know if there's going to be quite a few, but let's just go with it and see what happens. I didn't really get the whole non-talking thing, especially very early on in this movie. Like, I get it now, because obviously it was building to that point in the boat with like Harry Styles saying that the guy is a German, and he wasn't, he was French. But even before that, like, the main guy, I don't even know his name. Did he have a name? Like, he didn't speak at all, and it was really frustrating, especially where they were running up the beach with the guy, trying to get him on the boat. Like, why was there no dialogue there? Surely you would have been like, move out the way, like, not just push him past. It just didn't make any logical sense, and it rather annoyed me. And it's a really tiny thing, but it was just, logic just kind of flew out the window at that point, and I just wanted to bring that up really quickly. As I said, there was no really any emotional investment for me early on in this film, and I think that was to my slight annoyance, but it did get a lot better. As I said, the whole George storyline really pulled this movie close together, and as I said earlier on in this review, if it wasn't for Mark Rylance and that whole boat bringing the emotional connection to this story, I really don't think I would have enjoyed Dunkirk. And the problem for me is that something was off with this movie, and it was off from the very first scene to the very last scene, I just still can't put my finger on it for me. There was just something about this film that was off, and I really wish I could justify my feelings for that, but just watching it, I just had no any sort of engagement or connection with this movie. And I don't know whether that is because it's a generational thing, I don't know, but there was just something missing for me. And one of the things that I can half pin it down to is that I didn't really feel, like this film had a story. It just felt like a collection of scenes that did kind of lack any emotional substance. And I think they just tried a little, I don't know, they just tried to be out there a little bit too much by telling 3 separate stories. I think that would have worked had this been a larger world that they were working with, but the fact it was on the beach, in the air and on the sea, like, I get what they were coming with, the whole I will fight them on the beach, I will fight them on the landing grounds and all that, but it just didn't work. They should have really just kept this contained on a boat and then had the other stories as subplots, not tried to make them as prominent as what the story that they were trying to convey was, is that, you know, they couldn't get home, so home came for them, because it really missed the mark for me. And yeah, I really hope I wasn't being too negative, because as I said, I did enjoy the second half of this film a lot, and it really did resonate with me emotionally. And yeah, just don't hit that dislike button. Let's start a conversation. As I say, it may have been a generational thing, but yeah, let's start a conversation. If you have seen Dunkirk, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with me? I really would like to hear your opinions on this film, because from what I've seen, a few people are split on it. So yeah, I'd really love to hear your opinions on Dunkirk. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you did enjoy it, I'm nervously laughing because I've got a feeling it might get a few dislikes, this video, for my opinions. And if you did enjoy this video, say give it a like, and why not subscribe, because you'll be helping me out massively. And I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!